The ocean hides monsters stranger than your worst nightmares. From glowing anglerfish to ghostly deep-sea predators. Dive with us into the abyss and discover the 10 most terrifying creatures you've never seen. Hit subscribe, if you dare. When we stand on the shore, watching the endless waves crash against the beach, it's easy to think of the ocean as just water. Vast, blue, and mysterious. But the truth is far stranger. The ocean is not simply a giant pool of life. It's an entire alien world, layered in darkness, pressure, and silence. And deep within that darkness, there exist creatures so bizarre, so terrifying, that they make us question what life really means on our planet. Some of them seem like they were pulled straight out of nightmares, others like they belong on distant planets, not Earth. Yet all of them are real, hiding beneath the surface of the very same waters we swim in during summer vacations. Scientists estimate that we've only explored about 5% of the ocean. That means 95% remains a mystery. Uncharted, unseen, and unknown. To put that into perspective, we actually have better maps of the surface of Mars than of our own seafloor. That statistic alone should give us chills. Because if we've only scratched the surface, then what monstrous forms of life could be lurking in the unexplored depths? Are there creatures down there that defy our understanding of biology? And could some of them be so unlike us that encountering them would feel more like meeting extraterrestrials than fellow Earthlings? For centuries, sailors told stories of monsters rising from the deep. The Kraken, a tentacled beast said to drag entire ships beneath the waves, terrified mariners crossing the Atlantic. In Norse mythology, sea serpents like Jormungandr were believed to encircle the world itself. Even in the age of science, those legends linger. And while skeptics might dismiss them as myths, it's worth asking, where did these stories come from? Could the shadows that haunted sailors' imaginations have been inspired by real encounters with giant squids or unknown leviathans emerging from the blackness below? When we dive past the sunlit zone, the first 200 meters where most marine life we recognize exists, we enter the twilight zone. Here, the light fades, colors disappear, and strange shapes begin to emerge. Deeper still, in the midnight zone, no sunlight penetrates at all. It is in this eternal blackness that evolution has crafted some of the most haunting creatures imaginable. Here, life survives under pressures so intense that a human body would be crushed instantly. And yet, against all odds, these beings thrive. They glow with their own light, sprout teeth like glass daggers, and adopt forms that defy logic. Think about this. Every time you look at the ocean, you are staring at a frontier that's as mysterious as outer space. Except this frontier is right here on Earth. Some scientists even argue that before we seriously search for alien life among the stars, we should finish exploring our oceans. Because if we can find strange, unearthly creatures in the crushing depths, it might give us a better idea of what to expect on faraway worlds. But here's the unsettling thought. Maybe we don't want to know everything. Maybe some of what waits in the abyss should remain undiscovered. After all, the creatures we do know of, anglerfish with their glowing lures, vampire squids with their blood-red skin, goblin sharks with their protruding jaws, are already disturbing enough. And they're just the tip of the iceberg. If these monsters of the deep are what we've managed to capture on camera, what does that say about the 95% that remains hidden? In this series, we're going to descend into that darkness. We'll uncover the strangest, scariest, and most mind-bending forms of life that inhabit our oceans. From transparent predators that look like living ghosts, to creatures longer than blue whales made of thousands of tiny beings acting as one, to species so ancient they've survived unchanged for millions of years, each story will make you rethink what it means to be alive on this planet. So, as we begin this journey, ask yourself, how much of the ocean is just water? And how much of it is nightmare? Imagine descending into the pitch-black ocean, deeper than sunlight can ever reach. Your lights flicker against the cold emptiness, and suddenly, in the void, you see it, a tiny glowing orb, swaying gently in the water like a beacon of hope. But as you drift closer, that hope transforms into horror. Because the glow isn't safety, it's bait. And the creature waiting behind it is one of the most terrifying predators on Earth, the anglerfish. At first glance, the anglerfish seems unreal, almost like a monster crafted for a horror movie. Its body is small compared to its enormous mouth, which is lined with translucent, needle-like teeth that curve inward. These teeth are designed so perfectly that once prey swims inside, there is no escape. Even more unsettling, its jaw can unhinge, and its stomach can expand to swallow prey up to twice its own size. In the midnight zone of the ocean, where meals are scarce, this adaptation means survival. But to us, it feels like something out of a nightmare, a predator that could easily devour anything unlucky enough to approach. The most iconic feature of the anglerfish is the bioluminescent lure that dangles from its forehead, called an esca. Inside this glowing orb live symbiotic bacteria that produce light. Think about that. The fish doesn't generate the light itself, it houses organisms that do the work for it. These microbes, invisible anywhere else, thrive in the anglerfish's lure, creating a living flashlight in a world of endless night. And like a twisted fisherman, the anglerfish uses this lure to trick curious prey into swimming right into its jaws. But here's where things get even stranger. Most of the anglerfish we see in documentaries are females. The males, by comparison, are tiny, sometimes 100 times smaller. And their entire existence revolves around finding a female in the vast, dark ocean. Once he does, the male bites her body and never lets go. Over time, he literally fuses with her, his body merging into hers until he is nothing more than a pair of gonads providing sperm whenever she needs it. He loses his eyes, his organs, even his independence. He becomes part of her body. If that doesn't sound like a horror story of parasitic love, what does? The anglerfish raises unsettling questions about how life evolves under extreme conditions. Why would nature design a species where the male essentially sacrifices his body to become a permanent parasite? Some scientists suggest it's simply efficiency. In the deep sea, where finding a mate is almost impossible, fusing together ensures reproduction. But to us, it feels deeply alien, as if evolution itself has gone mad in the dark. And here's something that will really chill you. The anglerfish isn't rare. It's believed that dozens of species of anglerfish inhabit the deep sea, each stranger than the last. Some have lures shaped like worms, others with multiple glowing appendages. Some are covered in spines and grotesque growths that make them look like underwater demons. Every variation seems like a different nightmare conjured from the abyss. Sailors in the past didn't know anglerfish by name, but imagine encountering one rising unexpectedly toward the surface centuries ago. A glowing, monstrous head with razor-sharp teeth, appearing suddenly from the depths of darkness. Wouldn't that inspire tales of sea devils or underwater dragons? Perhaps the origins of some seafaring myths can be traced back to brief, terrifying glimpses of these creatures. Today, we look at them through cameras on deep-sea submersibles, but the feeling they inspire hasn't changed. Anglerfish remind us that nature doesn't always create beauty. Sometimes it creates horror. And sometimes, that horror is so effective it becomes one of evolution's greatest survivors. So, the next time you're at the beach staring out at the waves, remember, beneath that calm surface in the blackness of the abyss, there are fish that carry their own lanterns, not to guide them, but to trick and consume. In the black waters of the deep ocean lives a creature with a name that sounds like it was stolen from Gothic horror: the vampire squid. But unlike the monsters of legend that drink blood, this bizarre cephalopod has adapted to survive in one of the harshest environments on Earth, and in doing so, it has become one of the most unsettling beings ever discovered. The vampire squid, Vampirotuthis infernalis, literally vampire squid from hell, drifts through the darkness with a body covered in a deep red, almost blood-like hue. Its eyes are enormous, glowing a ghostly blue or red depending on how light strikes them. Imagine floating in total blackness and suddenly seeing two massive eyes shining back at you, unblinking from the void. That is the first terrifying encounter most prey, and unlucky explorers, might have with this creature. But its most disturbing feature is hidden in its arms. Unlike other squids, the vampire squid's arms are connected by a web of black skin, creating a cape-like membrane. When threatened, it flips this cape over its body, revealing rows of spiky, fleshy protrusions called cirri. To a predator, it looks like a horrifying thorn-covered demon. To us, it resembles something out of a nightmare. Part squid, part bat, part alien. Scientists say this posture, called pineapple posture, is one of the strangest defense mechanisms in the deep sea. And unlike the squid or octopus we know from the shallows, the vampire squid doesn't squirt ink. Instead, It ejects a glowing cloud of bioluminescent mucus filled with blue sparks of light. Imagine a flash grenade in the middle of total darkness. Predators are blinded and confused while the vampire squid quietly slips away. The effect is eerie, beautiful, and terrifying all at once, like watching a firework display in a place where no fire should exist. Perhaps the most unsettling thing about the vampire squid is not its appearance, but its way of life. It lives in one of the most inhospitable zones of the ocean, where oxygen levels are so low that most animals can't survive. Yet the vampire squid thrives there. Its metabolism is incredibly slow, its body adapted to require almost no oxygen, and it feeds not on fresh prey but on marine snow, the endless rain of dead matter, fecal pellets, and decaying organisms drifting down from the surface. In other words, this creature survives on the remnants of death, recycling the refuse of the ocean. It's not a hunter. It's a scavenger of the underworld. From a mythological perspective, it's easy to see why this animal was given such a terrifying name. It wears a cloak of black skin like a vampire's cape, it lives in the perpetual night of the deep sea, and it feeds on the decay of others. Yet, unlike the fictional vampire, it doesn't kill, it endures. It is a living testament to evolution's ability to shape life in ways that seem more like horror fiction than biology. For centuries, mariners feared the deep sea, imagining devils and demons lurking below their ships. Seeing a creature like the vampire squid would have confirmed their worst nightmares. Today, scientists assure us that the vampire squid poses no threat to humans. But isn't that almost more disturbing? A creature this terrifying doesn't even need to fight. It simply exists, calmly drifting in the black void, like a ghost that will outlast us all. The vampire squid reminds us that nature doesn't need to invent monsters. The ocean has already done it. And while our rational minds tell us it's just another adaptation, our instincts scream something different. That some beings are not meant to be seen. Imagine sinking into the ocean's twilight zone, where the last traces of sunlight fade into eternal blackness. The water grows colder, the silence heavier. Suddenly, out of the corner of your eye, something glides past, a shape so faint you almost doubt you saw it. Then you realize, you weren't imagining things. You've just encountered one of the most unsettling creatures in the ocean, the ghost fish. Also known as chimeras or sometimes called ratfish or spookfish, these bizarre animals are relatives of sharks and rays, but they look like something conjured from a dream or a nightmare. Their bodies are pale, translucent, and gelatinous, almost as if they're carved out of glass. Their fins ripple like veils in slow motion, giving them the appearance of spirits floating through the water. To watch one move is to witness an apparition, drifting silently through the blackness. What makes ghost fish truly haunting, though, are their eyes. Enormous, bulging, and reflective, they seem too large for their bodies, glowing faintly in the dim light. Scientists believe these oversized eyes evolved to capture the slightest hint of bioluminescence in the darkness. But to human eyes, they look like hollow portals, lifeless, eternal, staring into nothing. Imagine being alone in the depths and having those glowing orbs appear in front of you without warning. It's the kind of sight that could make even the bravest diver freeze in terror. Adding to the mystery, many species of ghost fish have long, whip-like tails and strange, wing-like fins that move with eerie grace. Some even possess venomous spines on their backs, a reminder that their delicate, ethereal appearance hides a dangerous reality. And while they may look fragile, ghost fish are survivors, having existed in one form or another for hundreds of millions of years. That means they were gliding through the ancient oceans long before dinosaurs ever walked the earth. They are, in a sense, living fossils, ancient phantoms that refuse to vanish. One of the strangest features of ghost fish is their reproduction. Unlike most fish, males have a bizarre structure on their foreheads called a tenaculum, a kind of hook used to grasp females during mating. The sight of a male with this fleshy, spiked appendage attached to its head only deepens the sense that these are creatures from another realm. It's as though evolution pieced them together from mismatched parts, caring nothing for human ideas of symmetry or beauty. For centuries, ghost fish remained largely hidden from humans. They inhabit depths so extreme that few could reach them. But in 2016, scientists captured the first-ever video of a live ghost fish in the deep sea near Hawaii. The footage shocked the world. This strange, pale figure hovered eerily in front of the camera, its body translucent, its movements unnervingly graceful. Watching it felt less like observing a fish and more like seeing a ghost glide through the abyss. The existence of ghost fish blurs the line between the natural and the supernatural. They challenge our understanding of what life can look like, reminding us that the ocean is filled with beings that defy imagination. And perhaps that's why they unsettle us so deeply. Because they look less like creatures of flesh and more like spirits haunting the ocean floor. Some scientists argue that encountering creatures like the ghostfish gives us a preview of what alien life might resemble. Not green men with antennae, but fragile, translucent beings shaped by environments utterly hostile to us. If such eerie creatures can evolve here in Earth's oceans, then what phantoms might drift in the oceans of Europa or Enceladus, the icy moons of our solar system? The ghostfish is a reminder that the ocean doesn't just hide monsters with teeth and claws. Sometimes, the scariest thing is something that looks back at you with lifeless eyes, drifts silently through the dark, and leaves you wondering whether you've just seen an animal or a ghost. For centuries, sailors have told stories of monstrous tentacles dragging ships beneath the waves. The kraken, they called it, a beast from the depths, stronger and larger than any whale. For a long time, these tales were dismissed as exaggeration or folklore. Yet in the hidden corners of the deep ocean, there truly exists a creature that could have inspired these myths. The giant squid. The giant squid, Architeuthis dux, is one of the largest invertebrates on Earth. Some specimens stretch over 13 meters, with tentacles longer than a school bus. Their eyes alone are the size of basketballs, perfectly adapted to detect faint flashes of light in the dark, murky waters. Imagine looking into the abyss and seeing two enormous eyes staring back, reflecting your own light. It's a scene that would unsettle even the most seasoned diver. Unlike many deep-sea predators, giant squids are elusive. They inhabit the mesopelagic and bathopelagic zones, far below where sunlight penetrates. Their primary prey includes deep-sea fish and other squids, which they capture with long, powerful tentacles lined with suckers and sharp hooks. These appendages can grip with extraordinary strength, and once prey is caught, escape is almost impossible. Despite their size and strength, giant squids are rarely seen alive. Most of what scientists know comes from carcasses that wash ashore or from specimens pulled up accidentally by deep-sea trawls. However, in recent decades, technology has allowed researchers to capture video footage of these creatures in their natural habitat. Watching them move in the water is surreal. Their bodies undulate gracefully, tentacles reaching out like shadowy extensions of the dark itself, and their massive eyes scan the surroundings with alien precision. The life of a giant squid is a story of extremes. The pressures in its habitat are immense, hundreds of times greater than at the surface. Temperatures hover just above freezing. And yet, evolution has equipped these creatures with specialized adaptations. Flexible, cartilaginous bodies, powerful eyes for spotting prey in dim light, and tentacles capable of sudden, explosive movements to capture food. They are perfectly suited for a world where survival depends on stealth, strength, and efficiency. One of the most fascinating aspects of giant squids is their role in the marine food chain. They are both predators and prey. Sperm whales, the largest toothed predators on Earth, feed almost exclusively on giant squids in certain regions. The battle between whale and squid is a hidden drama of the deep, with scars on sperm whales' bodies often revealing just how ferocious these encounters can be. In a sense, the ocean hides epic battles that no human has ever witnessed firsthand. It's no wonder that the giant squid inspired legends of sea monsters. When sailors glimpsed enormous tentacles breaking the water's surface, they had no frame of reference. To them, these creatures were supernatural. Today, we know they are real, but knowing doesn't make them any less terrifying. Their sheer size, alien anatomy, and near invisibility in the dark make them living phantoms, lurking in a world humans have barely explored. Giant squids remind us of a humbling truth. No matter how much of the Earth we think we've mapped, mysteries remain. The ocean still hides monsters that could outmatch the most fantastic myths. And while we may never encounter one in our lifetimes, the very possibility that they drift silently through the dark waters below is enough to ignite both awe and fear. As we continue our journey through the ocean's most chilling inhabitants, we will encounter creatures even stranger, older, and more alien than the giant squid. Beings that have survived millions of years of evolution, indifferent to our presence, living entirely by rules we barely understand. The abyss is vast, and its monsters are patient. Deep beneath the ocean's surface, where sunlight never reaches, swims a creature that looks like it came straight out of a nightmare. The goblin shark. Sometimes called the living fossil, this rare species has existed for over 125 million years, virtually unchanged. Its appearance is so alien that scientists and fishermen alike describe it as if evolution took a detour and forgot to finish it. The goblin shark's most unsettling feature is its jaw. Unlike the fixed jaws of most sharks, the goblin's jaw is highly protrusible. In an instant, it can shoot forward like a spring-loaded trap, capturing prey with terrifying efficiency. Its long, nail-like teeth glisten in the faint glow of bioluminescent organisms drifting in the water. Imagine a translucent, elongated head suddenly extending toward you with rows of needle-sharp teeth. This is the goblin shark in action. Its body is equally strange. Pale pink, almost fleshy in color, it seems more like tissue than a skeletal predator. The goblin's skin lacks the dark pigment typical of most deep-sea creatures, making it appear ghostly, almost spectral in the darkness. Its snout is elongated, flattened, and packed with electrosensitive organs that allow it to detect tiny electrical impulses from prey. This adaptation is crucial for survival in the deep sea, where vision is limited and stealth is key. Despite its fearsome appearance, the goblin shark is relatively slow. It does not chase prey in the way other sharks do. Instead, it lies in wait, conserving energy in the near-freezing water. When a meal wanders too close, its jaw erupts forward with shocking speed, ensuring that nothing escapes. The combination of sluggish, eerie movement and explosive predation makes it one of the most unsettling predators in the ocean. One of the most fascinating aspects of the goblin shark is its evolutionary history. Fossil evidence shows that its ancestors date back to the Cretaceous period, coexisting with dinosaurs. While other species evolved dramatically over millions of years, the goblin shark retained its ancient features. To witness one is like catching a glimpse of the deep past, a living relic that survived mass extinctions, climate shifts, and oceanic upheavals. Encounters with humans are extremely rare. Most goblin sharks are discovered only when they are accidentally caught in deep-sea trawls. Yet, even brief glimpses of them have sparked stories and imaginations worldwide. The combination of its ghostly color, elongated snout, and retractable jaw creates an image that seems almost otherworldly. Some divers have described the sensation as meeting an alien from another planet. Silent, patient, and indifferent to the human observer. The goblin shark is a reminder that the ocean doesn't simply harbor monsters that hunt or terrify. It preserves creatures that carry the history of life itself. Its eerie appearance, bizarre adaptations, and ancient lineage make it both a living fossil and a chilling enigma. It's a creature that seems to exist in a space outside of time, drifting in darkness, unbothered by humans, and yet profoundly capable of inspiring awe and fear. As we continue our exploration of the ocean's most terrifying inhabitants, we will encounter beings that are even more alien. Creatures that blur the lines between biology and nightmare, reality and myth. The goblin shark is just a hint of the horrors and wonders that lie in wait beneath the waves, in the deep, silent world we've barely begun to understand. Deep in the midnight zone, thousands of meters below the ocean surface, exists a creature so strange and fearsome that it seems born from the nightmares of sailors rather than natural selection. Scientists call it the black dragon, a type of deep-sea anglerfish, but this name only begins to describe the alien terror it embodies. Its body is dark as ink, with spiny protrusions that give it a skeletal silhouette, and its enormous head is dominated by a wide, cavernous mouth filled with needle-like teeth. What makes the black dragon truly extraordinary is its bioluminescence. Rows of light-producing organs line its body, casting an eerie glow in the surrounding darkness. These lights are not for decoration, they are strategic, used to lure prey close to the dragon's deadly jaws. The effect is mesmerizing and terrifying at once. In the black waters, the lights flicker like living lanterns, drawing in unsuspecting creatures as if the ocean itself were alive and predatory. To an outsider peering into the abyss, it is like watching a horror show staged by evolution itself. The reproductive strategy of the black dragon is equally bizarre and unsettling. In this species, the female dominates in size, strength, and appearance, while the male is minuscule in comparison. sometimes mere centimeters long. He exists solely to find a mate in the vast empty ocean. When he locates a female, he latches onto her body permanently, fusing with her and losing his independent functions. Over time, his body becomes an appendage of the female, supplying sperm whenever needed. This extreme sexual dimorphism and parasitism highlight the extreme pressures of survival in the deep sea. The black dragon's predatory techniques are finely tuned to a world where energy is scarce and light almost non-existent. Its glowing appendages are more than a lure. They are a form of communication, attracting mates and confusing rivals. In the frigid, crushing environment of the abyss, these adaptations make the black dragon a master of its domain, a silent ruler of an alien kingdom. Encounters with black dragons are incredibly rare. Most observations come from remote deep-sea submersibles or long-range cameras. But even in these brief glimpses, the effect is undeniable. A creature that moves with deliberate grace, seemingly aware of its surroundings yet utterly indifferent to human observers. Its presence reminds us that the ocean is not a static, lifeless void. It is a world brimming with predators designed by millions of years of relentless evolution, creatures that make our fears tangible. The black dragon embodies one of the ocean's most profound truths. Survival in extreme environments requires extreme adaptations. In a place with near-freezing temperatures, crushing pressure, and complete darkness, evolution has crafted beings that are both horrifying and astonishingly beautiful. The black dragon is proof that the deep sea is a theater of biological innovation, where life persists in forms that challenge every notion we have about what is possible. For those who dare to imagine it, the black dragon raises an unsettling question. If such creatures can evolve right here on Earth, hidden beneath our oceans, what other forms of life might exist in the unexplored depths? Are there beings so alien, so terrifying, that encountering them would change our understanding of life forever? The black dragon reminds us that the ocean's depths are not a silent void. They are alive with creatures that defy imagination, waiting patiently in the darkness. And for every black dragon observed, countless more remain hidden, shadows in the abyss, living reminders that our planet is more mysterious and fearsome than we often dare to believe. As we descend even deeper into the ocean, we encounter creatures that challenge our very definition of what it means to be a single organism. Among the strangest are siphonophores, a group of colonial animals that drift silently through the depths, appearing more like alien apparitions than marine life. These creatures are composed of thousands of individual zooids, each specialized for feeding, reproduction, or defense, yet all functioning together as a single entity. Some siphonophores are colossal. Priadubia, for instance, can stretch over 40 meters, longer than a blue whale. Imagine a shimmering, ribbon-like organism floating in total darkness, composed of countless tiny, coordinated units, each performing its own task yet seamlessly integrated into the whole. To human eyes, it looks like a living city, or a nightmarish tentacled serpent slowly undulating through the black. Bioluminescence adds to their otherworldly appearance. Many siphonophores glow in streaks of blue, green, or red, creating a ghostly light show in the perpetual darkness of the deep sea. This isn't just beautiful, it's deadly. Their stinging cells can paralyze small prey almost instantly, allowing the colony to feed efficiently in an environment where food is scarce. The combination of light, size, and predatory function makes them one of the most alien-looking animals on Earth. Siphonophores also defy conventional ideas about individuality. While we think of a jellyfish or a squid as a single creature, a siphonophore is more like a collective intelligence. Each zooid cannot survive independently for long, yet together, they form a functional predator capable of impressive feats. It's an evolutionary strategy unlike any other, optimized for a life where cooperation at a microscopic level is key to survival. The motion of a siphonophore is both mesmerizing and unsettling. They drift, undulate, and stretch across vast distances in the abyss, resembling floating ribbons of light. At times, they seem to move with a deliberate grace, almost as if they are aware of the observer. Their alien beauty is deceptive. Beneath that ethereal appearance lurks a highly effective predatory mechanism. Every glowing appendage, every stinger, and every coordinated motion is designed to capture prey and ensure survival in one of the harshest environments on the planet. These creatures also remind us of the ocean's vast unexplored potential. For centuries, Deep-sea explorers assumed such enormous and intricate life forms could not exist. Yet siphonophores prove otherwise. Evolution can produce entities that look like living spacecraft, far removed from anything we see on land. The fact that they exist, silently drifting in crushing pressures and utter darkness, shows just how alien Earth's oceans really are. Siphonophores blur the line between individual and collective, predator and spectacle, science and science fiction. They are living proof that life does not need to conform to our expectations. If you were to encounter a Praia dubia in its full length, with its glowing tentacles spanning the water like a celestial ribbon, you might question whether you were observing a single organism, or an entire ecosystem floating as one. For anyone venturing into the deep, siphonophores serve as a stark reminder. The ocean is not just filled with monsters with jaws and teeth. Some of its most terrifying residents are creatures that defy classification, creatures that appear to move with alien intelligence, and creatures that make us realize just how little we truly understand about the life lurking beneath the waves. In a place where sunlight never penetrates and the pressure is immense, siphonophores are a testament to nature's creativity and cruelty, a ghostly reminder that the ocean's depths are alive with wonders we can barely imagine. Despite centuries of exploration, the ocean remains the planet's final frontier. Scientists estimate that we have explored less than 20% of its depths. That means 80%, billions of cubic kilometers of water, cliffs, trenches, and abysses, remains unseen, untouched, and utterly mysterious. Imagine a world larger than all continents combined, yet largely invisible to humanity, a realm where creatures evolve without sunlight, without human observation, and without the limits that constrain life on the surface. In these unexplored depths, life has adapted in ways that challenge our understanding of biology. Some creatures have bioluminescent organs to navigate eternal darkness. Others possess expandable jaws and transparent bodies to survive scarce food sources. Many species are ancient, unchanged for millions of years, while others might be entirely unknown, evolving in isolation, alien in form and function. Each dive into the abyss, every camera drop or submersible expedition, brings new surprises. Some fascinating, some terrifying. It's not just the known monsters that fascinate us, but the possibilities of what lurks in the deep. Could there be predators larger than any whale, swimming silently in total darkness? Could there be colonies of alien-like organisms, invisible to our instruments, drifting through the abyss? The fact is, for every anglerfish, vampire squid, or ghostly siphonophore we've discovered, there are likely dozens, if not hundreds, of equally bizarre creatures we have yet to see. The unknown abyss is a place where myth meets reality. Legends of sea monsters, krakens, and other monstrous beings may have been inspired by glimpses of real, unseen life forms. Sailors from centuries ago spoke of colossal tentacles rising from the depths, of glowing eyes staring back from black waters. Today, we understand that deep-sea giants like squids and ancient sharks exist, but even modern science cannot fully capture the extent of what remains hidden. The ocean keeps its secrets jealously, revealing them only occasionally, and always leaving us with more questions than answers. Beyond individual monsters, there may be entire ecosystems we have yet to observe. Deep trenches, underwater volcanoes, and sub-zero currents create habitats so extreme that no human has ventured there. In these extreme environments, evolution has had the freedom to experiment, producing life forms that could appear alien even on distant planets. Some scientists argue that studying these depths could provide clues for finding extraterrestrial life, because if life can thrive in the crushing, sunless, oxygen-poor waters of Earth's oceans, why not in the subsurface oceans of Europa or Enceladus? The abyss also forces us to confront our limitations. Our technology, submersibles, deep-sea cameras, remotely operated vehicles, offers only glimpses. Often, the creatures we encounter are incomplete, seen for a few seconds before vanishing into the dark. And the vast majority of life we know only from dead specimens pulled to the surface. Every discovery opens a window, but the real spectacle remains hidden, waiting in the inky blackness. Perhaps the most unsettling thought is this: the ocean may harbor beings that humans are not even equipped to perceive. Creatures so alien, so perfectly adapted to darkness and pressure, that encountering them would be like meeting an intelligent extraterrestrial. Their senses, their methods of communication, Even their fundamental biology could be entirely incomprehensible to us. And yet, they share the same planet, silently thriving beneath waves we take for granted. The unknown abyss reminds us that, for all our knowledge, we are still strangers on our own world. The ocean is not just a place of water and waves. It is a dark, living realm filled with monsters, mysteries, and marvels beyond imagination. And every unexplored depth, every unseen creature, stands as a testament to the vastness and strangeness of life on Earth. In the final part of our journey, we will confront the ultimate question. What does it mean to gaze into the ocean's abyss and realize that the scariest, most alien life on Earth is not science fiction, but reality itself? As we reach the final chapter of our journey into the ocean's deepest, darkest realms, it's impossible not to feel a mixture of awe and unease. From the glowing lure of the anglerfish to the ghostly transparency of siphonophores, from the parasitic devotion of vampire squids to the living fossils like goblin sharks, we have glimpsed life that seems more alien than anything found on land, or even in space. Yet these creatures are not myths. They are real, thriving silently, patiently, in a world humans barely understand. The abyss challenges our perception of life itself. Here, survival depends on adaptations that appear grotesque to us. Extendable jaws, bioluminescent lures, spiny capes, transparent bodies, and cooperative colonies of thousands of tiny individuals. Each adaptation tells a story of necessity, evolution, and resilience in an environment that seems hostile beyond comprehension. These beings demonstrate that life does not follow human rules. It evolves in strange, unexpected, and often terrifying ways, perfectly suited to the pressures, darkness, and isolation of the deep. But it's not just horror that defines the abyss, it is also beauty. The subtle glow of bioluminescent organisms, the slow, mesmerizing undulations of tentacles, the eerie grace of ghost fish, all remind us that the ocean is a theater of surreal artistry. Even predators that terrify us possess forms that are elegant, refined, and astonishingly creative. In the same moment, these creatures evoke fear and fascination, a duality that makes the ocean's depths uniquely compelling. Perhaps the most chilling truth is that the majority of these creatures remain unseen. We've explored less than 20% of the deep ocean. That means there are monsters, marvels, and life forms beyond imagination, waiting quietly in the dark. For every anglerfish or giant squid we know, dozens more elude our cameras, our submersibles, our understanding. The unknown abyss is a vast, living archive of alien life, a world that continues to evolve silently beneath the waves. This is a reminder of our own limitations. No matter how advanced our technology becomes, no matter how sophisticated our theories, the ocean holds secrets we may never fully uncover. It is a place where the rules of surface life, speed, size, visibility, no longer apply. In this alien realm, even small, fragile organisms can dominate their environment. Even the most fearsome predators can be ephemeral, fleeting glimpses of evolution's endless creativity. Yet there is a profound lesson in all of this. The scariest, most alien life on Earth is not confined to distant planets or to science fiction. It exists here, beneath the waves, alongside us. Every beach we visit, every ship we sail, floats above a world of living nightmares and wonders, a realm so strange that it challenges our very understanding of reality. The ocean is not just water. It is a universe in miniature, a hidden cosmos of life, fear, and beauty. So, as we surface from this journey through the abyss, remember this. The next time you stare out at the waves, you are looking above a realm of monsters, marvels, and mysteries. The deep sea does not need to be imagined. It exists, silent and patient, its denizens thriving in darkness that humans can barely penetrate. And somewhere down there, beyond the reach of sunlight and human observation, the most terrifying and awe-inspiring creatures you can imagine are waiting, reminding us that life on Earth is far stranger, and far more frightening, than we often dare to believe. The ocean's abyss is a warning, a wonder, and a challenge. It asks us to respect its depths, to marvel at its mysteries, and to remember that some of the most extraordinary life on our planet has always been hiding in plain sight, just beneath the waves. The monsters of the deep are real, and their story is far from finished.